Hello, hello, hello. Burning Chicken 22, the Burning Chicken. Uh, Coming at you with a nice black background and my goofy avatar crying every time I talk. I wanted to come on today and just ramble. So, if you feel like listening, sit back, enjoy, because I'm going to be talking about random shit. If you don't, that's fine too. Uh, But I just wanted to say that I'm super interested in the idea of podcasting. I feel like it's a pretty saturated market, so I don't really know how to break through and be heard. And to be honest, I don't know if I'm that interesting to be listened to. So that might be on me to develop some reasons to be interesting. Uh, yeah. Some of my hobbies, I enjoy fucking around making music. I was in the band in middle school for 3 years in middle school, or what was that? Sixth, seventh, eighth grade. Yep, middle school, and then in high school. So about 7 years. Did music. Always been drawn towards the drums when I was a kid, but I kind of never went fully deep into it. I feel like I have this problem where it kind of sounds full of myself because there are plenty of people out there better than me. But I think generally speaking, at least a little bit, there was something in me where I just had this ability. I just kind of picked up things pretty naturally, right? My parents always said that I would be sitting there like banging rhythmically, since the age of 3. I'm sure part of that has to do with, my father being a musician. Always listening to bangers in the car with him when I was younger, good old rock and roll classics. Uh, but I had this innate ability where I just naturally caught on to things. I was pretty good at it. I had a baseline level of athleticism too. My brother did a lot of sports. Me and him, we played sports all throughout. No, I mean I did it in middle school, and then when it came to high school, I decided to stop and I had a choice because both are very time-consuming activities, right? I could either continue doing music or I could continue doing sports, and I chose to do band. So I kept doing that. I was in the marching band in high school. My brother went down, did sports. He didn't do music. He picked up guitar. He actually played violin a little bit when he was younger. And then he picked up guitar for a little bit. I tried the guitar. It was not my thing. I don't think I got the wrist for it. I've always been intrigued by it because, the plus side of being a percussionist, playing on a marimba, xylophone, whatever sort of keyboard, it mimics the layout of a piano. So I can fuck around and fiddle with a piano and make something that sounds half decent. So that's kind of cool. But kind of a tangent. But to circle back, I just felt like I had these innate, I was always somewhat naturally good, whether it be athletics, music, or whatever else it may be. And because of that, I think the problem was that I was self-aware of that. And the old saying, right? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And I noticed that for a while, right? I could get away with not practicing the day of. And I remember, I'm sorry to my parents because they would pay for private lessons for me. When I got into middle school, high school, I think more high school, they paid for private lessons for me to keep getting good at music, because once you get high school, dude, there are some phenoms out there, some crazy kids born with that innate talent that do something about it. They work hard at it, realize they're good, but realize there's more work to be done. And I even had my instructor tell me one time, he gave me some music to learn, and I didn't look at it. It was, I think every Wednesday I would have a lesson, and he gave me some music to work on every week. He'd be like, hey, work on this. We're going to do this skill for this week. We'll see how you did next week. we'll see if we need to work on it or if we can progress to something else because you picked up on it. And I remember not practicing at all. And then it came to like an hour before he was going to show up for my lesson. And I was like, oh shit, I can't look like a jackass. He's going to get mad at me, right? He's going to think I'm wasting his time. Which at the end of the day, most people probably wouldn't have cared. Because, at the end of the day, I'm putting money in their pockets. So at least my parents were at the time. Again, sorry. But he was actually, he was real into drum corps, and he was, was in a band. He makes music. Shout out D Shaw the music, and I showed up to a lesson, had practicing only like 30 minutes, an hour prior to him showing up, and he was just like, "Wow, I can really tell you practice this. So let's move on to the next thing." I felt guilty, right? Because I think that's when I really started to realize, damn, dude, like, I don't want to be a bullshitter. I don't want to just bullshit my way through life. The whole fake it till you make it. If you got it, why fake it? Why not just do? So, again, another tangent, kind of tied into it, but, having that innate talent and just not taking advantage, just trying to ride out the talent. And then in high school, by the time I got to my sophomore, junior year, probably junior year is when it hit me. There's some freshmen came in. They whooped my ass, right? I tried making snare or tenors or whatever junior year. Didn't quite make the cut. I had freshmen make it. And I was like, damn. But they worked their ass off, right? That's all they did in the summer. They just fucking drummed for hours. And I dicked off, video games, blah, blah, blah. And so I kind of lost my train of thought there. But yeah, they kind of dicked off, and I realized, oh shit. I came back senior year for my final audition, and all my instructors were, just told me straight up. They're like, after the fact, right? They can't talk to you during the audition, but after the fact, they're like, yeah, I don't know what happened. Like, last year you were way better. And I had this drive to do well because I knew I was on the cusp of making it. And, I practiced my ass off. Well, I say that, but I just actually practiced for the first time ever. Like, I actually had some sort of practice regimen. Didn't quite pay off. Had I kept working right the same way I was, slowly building, I would have made it. There's no doubt in my mind. But, being a kid in high school, you don't have the intelligence, right? Your brain's not developed. You don't really get to look at things in broad strokes. You're kind of living in the now. And so when I didn't make it, I was like, well, shit, dude, all that practice was for nothing. So, I mean, not for nothing, but, it was definitely a punch to the gut. I was like, damn, I practiced. In my mind, it's hard. I was probably doing the bare minimum. Didn't make it. So I was just like, fuck it. At that time, being a dumb high school kid too, start smoking pot and doing all that, blah, 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 doing stupid stuff, hanging out with stupid people. I mean, I don't even want to throw shade on people. Gotta own my responsibility in that, right? Nobody else was forcing me to do these things, but I was just wasting time, just cruising. Same with academics, right? Always smart. Got straight A's probably up until high school is really when it hit. I didn't really have to study for shit. And then you got to the AP courses, right? You required you to study. And I didn't, and, slowly slipped. And then you saw the people that I was innately better than, smarter than, and no shade to them. But they probably realized I got to work hard to do, as well as other people. So they busted their butts. They were studying. They were in the books. I opened up a textbook, I think, one time in high school to study stuff outside of class. I just absorbed what they told me in class, showed up, took the test, did well enough, And then so I slowly saw, grades start to decline, performance start to decline, not really understanding concepts because I didn't have to force myself to do it. So, I kind of live with that regret because there were a lot of cool things I probably could have done, right? Could have made, cool jazz band, could have made snare, tenor in high school. And, in hindsight, stuff that happens in high school doesn't matter all that much, unless, you kill somebody or stuff like that. But, once you're out of high school, nobody really cares about high school, except if you're trying to get in a colleges that look for grades or extracurriculars and all that, but it definitely felt like I left a lot of potential on the table, and so that's a regret I have. Trying to move past it now. Uh, and it's tough. It's learning. I'm still learning to this day. I still have very lazy tendencies, right? I don't want to. I work my normal job, and then I DoorDash on the side to make a few extra bucks. And then some days I'm just like, you know what, I don't want to do it. Like yesterday, I had, I planned on playing some games with my friends. Once they got off of work, I got off earlier than they did, so I had about like 4 hours to hustle up a little bit and do something. And I decided I'd rather play some more games. In the moment it was fun. It's a good game, The Witcher. Never played it, first time playthrough. I still intend to play that game because it's a good game, but I don't know. I definitely have some lazy tendencies. I especially having a fucking cell phone nowadays, dude. That is just a time suck. I remember when Vine first dropped, and the whole concept, was just 6-second videos that are, funny, which I think the reason I was so drawn to that platform, right, is you only have 6-7 seconds, whatever it is. I'm sure I've seen arguments about it. It doesn't matter. Short form video, right? It requires you to be creative, be funny, be talented, whatever, right? Enough to grab somebody's attention in 6 seconds and make them, follow or whatever feature they had, because keep them coming back. So it was pretty good. You got some funny sketches. You got big people that blew up, right? You got the King Batches, the Lele Pons, the fucking, all the people, right? Big Vine stars that blew up. And, but something so simple as a 6-second video, you watch enough of those, at least for me, you watch enough of those, fucking 3 hours goes by of me just watching 6-second videos. And I was like, holy shit, that is a crazy time suck. So I try and be more efficient with my time. That's why I started making videos, because like I love video games, right? I'm gonna game for the rest of my life. At least right now it's looking like that, because I enjoy video games, right? People have hobbies, some people like to go on runs. Some people, I don't know, do archery, crochet, whatever, right? People got hobbies. People shit on it, but I think video games are a hobby. It's a form of entertainment, right? Some people say video games are a waste of time. Might be the same people that sit down and watch a show, binge a show for 2, 3, 4 hours. When instead, I can do something that I'm involved in. Get to build a world, enjoy a story, especially if they're well written. Maybe they have a good message. I mean, it's definitely still a time suck. Are there better things to do with my time? Absolutely. But it's a hobby, right? Not everything needs to be nose to the grindstone, go, go, go. Right? There's a time and place. So as I get older, I try and figure out, and obviously I still struggle. I'm still young, but figuring out when to prioritize certain things, when it's time to, mentally, right? There's got to be times that you just kick back and take a break. I've been, I go to the gym, which eats up, hour and a half, 2 hours, depending, maybe a little longer if it's leg day. Obviously, like I said, got my work, got family I like to talk to. So, things eat up time. So if I have a couple hours, it's good for the mental to just do something I enjoy. Which is why I play games. But, like I keep saying, I forget if I said it in the last video. I'm pretty sure I did in my Overwatch video. And I was getting burnt out on video games, and it just wasn't as fun anymore. I remember, 6 months ago, whatever it may be, dude, I was loving it, right? A little more than that. October, November, whenever Modern Warfare 2 dropped. Having a great time, partying up with friends, playing Warzone, playing multiplayer, having a good time. And then, I don't know, recently, it's been tough, there hasn't been the same enjoyment out of it, but I think what made those things so fun, which is why I'm interested in this, podcast type thing, is is that connection with people, right? When I play games with my friends, that adds to the game, right? A good game can be enjoyed by itself. But if you have a good game and you can play with your friends like that, there's something magical that happens, just constant laughs. Even when you're try hard and it can still be fun, right? You might be, might be raging, getting mad at each other, shitting on each other, trash talking, doing all this, but it's still, at the end of the day, you look back and you're like, damn, I had a good time playing with the boys. So I don't know. Right now, obviously, it's just me riffing, right? Bill Burr podcast style, right? Where it's just you alone with your thoughts. But it'd be cool, at some point if I become interesting enough or popular or whatever, amass some sort of following. To have people on, I want to be on podcasts now and talk to people. Just, I think talking to people is cool, and right now I kind of feel like I would fill more of the guest spot because I don't know, something about podcasters. Podcasters have this very impressive ability to fill the void. Right? There's downtime because that's just how conversation works. There's moments of silence, and it just, especially today where so much media is just instantly fed to you. You can fucking watch a YouTube video right now. You can pull up a Twitch stream. You can pull up the TV, right? There's just constant flow of information. Like there's no time to pause and take a breath, or something as simple as that probably felt awkward. It felt awkward for me because I feel obligated to fill the void. I'm sure that pause may, if people were even listening, that pause could have caused people to click away because they're like, "What the fuck happened? Why this is boring." There's definitely some. I don't know if it's all in my head. I feel like some of it's true. Well, there's definitely this pressure I apply to myself to feel like I have to fill this void, doing something like this. But I don't know. I think it's fun. I think it's interesting. I would love to be able to sit down and talk with people, and definitely don't expect to be Rogan status. I don't think I'm going to be talking to fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson, popular, Neil deGrasse Tyson doctors and Jocko Willink, former, service members or comedians and, big names like this. But I don't know, maybe. But that's something that's been interesting too is I'm making videos, and I tried streaming a bit, but I definitely prefer the video format. I forgot what I was saying there. Oh yes, that making videos, I got 3 subscribers. Most popular video has like 23 views or whatever, which is, it's a very saturated market. There's whole media in general. There's online media presence, right? YouTube, Twitch, podcasts, anything like that. It's just, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of competition. So it's tough to really get seen. So that's a struggle I've been having. I got it written on a whiteboard next to me, and it says, I want to make a career making videos. That means you need to bring value. Right? And, I think that's why creators explode when they do, is because they bring some sort of value that, the viewer, the consumer, whatever, the human views interesting, right? Whether that value be, comedic, they make you laugh, kind of take your mind off things, or, they open up the floor for intellectual conversation. Maybe they're some doctor who's really smart on, the future of AI or the ever expanding space, or, somebody's either like an expert in something, or they bring comedy or maybe, drama with films and stuff like that. But people consume because they feel things bring value to them. So it's definitely been an internal struggle. And, I'm sure we've always heard, creators talking about being burnt out, feeling like they got to go, make this video. Oh, I got to thumbnail it right. I got to title it right. Is this funny? Is what I'm doing? Is anybody going to listen? And they need to take mental breaks, or some of them crack, It's sucks to see, right? But it's things that happen. Yeah, so I definitely, I don't know, it sounds silly talking as if I'm some sort of content creator, but I guess technically I do create content. Uh, it's out there. I got what, 5 videos or whatever. So I guess technically I am a content creator, but you know, what value do I bring to make people watch it, dude? So I don't know. Some thoughts that have been circling the old mind. But it is super intriguing. I don't know. I get these bouts of inspiration too. I feel like most people do, right? They listen to a David Goggins video, or they watch a very intellectual podcast, or they watch a funny video. And they're like, "Oh, that's what I want to do. How great would it be?" And don't get me wrong, how great would it be? Like I have written on the whiteboard, I want to make a career making videos, because that's a thing you can do in this day and age. In 2023, you can make a living, you can survive, you can thrive off putting content on the internet for other people to absorb, and that's fascinating to me, So maybe something that'll help take the pressure off of this is just not even maybe having no expectation. I mean, deep down, I want it, even on the surface level, I want it to succeed, because how fucking incredible would it be to make a living off sitting at my desk talking to a computer, or playing video games and hanging out with friends and doing all that, right? That's that's like the dream for some people. It's definitely a dream of mine. That would be sick. But maybe if I keep a work ethic in the way, keep producing videos and doing my due diligence, promoting on socials, whatever needs to get done, I'm gonna figure it out. Of course, that's just gonna come with time, right? I say nobody. You do have some freak incidents, but for the most part, people don't just blow up and become famous, right? The biggest names on platforms have been doing it for 5, 10, 15 years, right? They've been doing it a long ass time. So I think one thing that would help me put less pressure on myself and be better for my mental, at least, would just be to, at least on the surface, pretend I don't have any expectations. Or maybe it'd be healthier if I just didn't have expectations for it, just did it because I enjoy doing it. Like, this is fun. Being able to talk, hanging out with coworkers and all is cool, but getting a little more personal, I guess I should say, is interesting to me. I feel like that's one thing that really draws me in towards podcasts, is you get to delve deep into how or why a person is the way they are, whether it be some successful CEO, their road to getting there, or whatever avenues, a scientist or a comedian, or content creator, whatever, right? They have amassed some sort of success, which is obviously different for everybody, but they've amassed success. They may have a bunch of followers. Again, being a CEO is a huge accomplishment, running a company, all that. So they all have, even though they're vastly different fields, what they have in common is being successful, and whatever right that may be. So that's extremely interesting, and I think that's something. I think everybody strives to be successful, in some shape or form, and that, I think, the definition of success is, I don't think there is a hard set. I mean, I'm sure if you look in the dictionary for success, there's a definition, but everyone's version of success looks different, right? For some people, it is monetary, which is totally fine, right? I understand that. I would love to be in a position in my life where I can take care of me and my family and not have to worry, are we going to have enough money to, pay rent this month? Are we going to have enough money to pay off the cars? Can I put food on my family's plate? Obviously, it would be fantastic to not even worry about that. I don't need to be some gazillionaire. I guess that's a goofy number. It kind of takes the realism. I don't need to be a billionaire, even worth 100 million or whatever. Right? Just don't even be worth a million. I mean, that would be kind of sick, because I do have the habits in me to want to buy dumb shit, and sometimes I do buy dumb shit when I maybe shouldn't, because I don't have the income. But part of me, says, I don't buy things to impress other people, which I don't know, could be true, but I don't know. Maybe I think something subconsciously, might drive me to, buy things to look cool. Maybe not look cool, but I don't know. Maybe there is some sort of societal pressure that, oh, I should own this thing. Like, why did I need a new headset? I don't know, but I bought some new headphones, got an audio mixer. I have this microphone. I mean, it's cool because the microphone quality hopefully sounds good. But for just playing games, didn't need it. But I did use the excuse, and I guess it is true to make videos. Is that there is a noticeable quality. It's kind of funny, playing games with people online and them being like, "Why does your microphone sound so good?" It's because it's a real microphone, brother. I don't know, XLR baby. But yeah, I don't know. So definitely want some sort of success. I would love to become successful. Obviously, I think that comes with having. I don't think I need to be, or I don't. I mean, it would be cool, in an ideal world, I guess. But realistically speaking, right, I don't expect to be the number one YouTuber, right? PewDiePie, Mr. Beast, fucking all those dudes are crazy. They're crushing it. There's a reason they amass the views that they do and they have the subs that they do is because they bring something. They're good at it. Plus, they've been doing it a while. Watched a podcast with Mr. Beast talking about for just 10 straight years. From the time he was 14 to 24, he just consumed viral videos and just watched them. What makes a video go viral? What is the subject matter about? What is the title about? How many characters is the title? What is in the thumbnail? How do you place this? Blah, 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 right? All these crazy things. So he went in depth, right? And that's just, I guess, the point of being an expert in your craft. And I think his results, speak to it. Constantly pumping out 100 million view video. Almost every video he pumps out gets 100 million views, right? And I don't need all that, but obviously to make this give me any monetary gain, there needs to be, people need to be watching. So you got to have the sub count up, got to have the view count up, watch time, all that. So I hope to have that one day. I think I just need to come in with low expectations, do the work consistently for a long period of time. I think it goes back to hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I'm sure there are plenty of talented people who can just sit down and talk forever. I think Bill Burr does that insanely well. He can just sit down and riff for an hour in front of a microphone. But he's also, been on stage telling jokes, not by himself, but, he's the only one performing, only one talking. It's just him. Obviously, you get hecklers and stuff like that, and sometimes there's crowd interaction, but, he's been talking to a microphone for fucking 30, 40 years, however long he's been doing it, all right? So I think you just gotta nose the grindstone, do the thing consistently, step by step, ferociously, Gradum Verociter. Shout out Mark Bell. Shout out the Latins for coming up with such cool phrases. That's something I'm curious about is these Latin people, did they, I guess what would you call a Latin person? Anyway, did they come up with these phrases or did we just piece together some cool phrases and put it in Latin to make it sound cool and insightful? Who knows? I'll probably never Google it because that's the type of guy I am. I'll have somebody feed me some information. I'll just roll with it unless it's absurd or something. But, typically just roll with it until I get told otherwise maybe. And if I don't, whatever, But, yeah, that's just some thoughts I have on the mind. I guess this has been my first podcast, if you want to call it that. I might be very boring, right? Again, it's just my avatar on a black screen for, approaching 30 minutes now. So that's pretty cool. I don't know. But I enjoy this format. I think it's cool. Tired of getting muted in Discords for talking too much. I enjoy socializing. It's good. I think there's a deep part of the human, just the way we're made, that we want to socialize. We want to be in communication with humans, and I probably do talk too much and ramble and blah blah blah, but probably gets obnoxious to some people. But whatever. It's who I am. So people that don't like it is what it is. People that do like it, nobody. So I'm sure there's somebody out there, but yeah, I guess that's it. This has been me rambling. If you made it to the end, honestly, kudos to you, because I don't know even know if I said anything worth any sort of value here. But if you stuck around, thanks. If you enjoy this, let me know. If you don't, let me know. I guess I'll catch you next time.